Did you know that a single leaf from a plant sold at your local nursery could stop your heart? That sounds exaggerated, but in some cases it is true. Today, we're counting down 7 of the most dangerous plants you should never bring home from a nursery, no matter how attractive they look on the shelf. Some of them are grown as landscape showpieces. Others are sold as charming cottage flowers or easy houseplants. And one of the most common on this list is a plant people place in their living rooms without ever realizing the risk. That is what makes this topic so important. So many toxic plants are sold with little or no warning at all. Groups like the ASPCA, Poison Control Centers, and major horticultural organizations have published plant danger lists for years. Yet these same plants still show up at garden centers, big box stores, and local nurseries as if they were harmless decorative choices. If you care about gardening safety, plant care, and making smarter choices for your home, this is exactly the kind of information that matters. Let's begin with oleander. At first glance, oleander looks like the perfect shrub. It is lush, colorful, drought-tolerant, and dramatic. Nurseries love selling it because it performs well in hot climates and instantly gives a yard that rich tropical look people want. The flowers can be pink, red, white, or salmon, and when the plant is in full bloom, it is easy to understand why so many homeowners fall for it. But oleander carries a serious danger hidden beneath that beauty. Every part of the plant is toxic. The leaves, flowers, stems, sap, and even the smoke produced if the branches are burned can all be harmful. The reason is a group of compounds called cardiac glycosides, chemicals that interfere directly with heart function. In medicine, similar compounds are used carefully and in exact doses. In oleander, there is no such control. Even a small amount can be dangerous, especially for children and pets. Symptoms may include vomiting, slowed heart rate, weakness, confusion, severe irregular heartbeat, and in the worst cases, sudden death. This is not a theoretical risk. There have been repeated cases involving livestock, dogs, and accidental human exposure. If you love the bold, tropical flower effect but want something safer, hibiscus is a much better choice. It delivers brilliant color, a warm climate look, and strong garden impact without bringing the same level of toxic danger into your home or yard. The next plant is foxglove. Foxglove is one of the most enchanting plants sold at nurseries. Tall spires rise above the garden, lined with tubular flowers in shades of purple, pink, cream, or white. It looks magical, almost storybook-like, which is exactly why people buy it. It turns an ordinary flower bed into something that feels romantic and memorable. But foxglove is dangerous for the same reason it became historically important in medicine. It contains digitalis glycosides. These compounds affect the heart in powerful ways. In carefully measured medical use, they have been used to treat certain heart conditions. In the raw plant, though, the dose is uncontrolled, and that makes it hazardous. If eaten, foxglove can trigger nausea, vomiting, dizziness, serious rhythm disturbances, seizures, and even cardiac arrest. Children may be drawn to the flower shape, and pets can also be poisoned if they chew the plant. Even gardeners can run into trouble if they handle it carelessly and then touch their mouth or face without washing properly. For a similar vertical flower look without the same risk, snapdragons are a far safer option. They bring height, color, and movement to a flower bed, but without hiding heart-active toxins inside the stems and blooms. And that contrast sets the tone for this whole video. Some of the most beautiful nursery plants are also the ones you should think twice about bringing home. Plant number 3 is dumb cane, also known as Diefenbachia. This is one of the most recognizable houseplants in the world. You see it in offices, waiting rooms, apartment corners, and nursery displays all the time. With its broad green leaves splashed in cream, yellow, or pale white, it instantly makes a room feel more tropical and alive. That is why nurseries keep selling it. It is easy to grow, It tolerates lower light than many indoor plants, and it has that rich, leafy appearance people want when they are trying to soften a room. But dumb cane hides a very unpleasant danger inside those beautiful leaves. The plant contains microscopic, needle-like crystals called calcium oxalate crystals. If someone bites or chews the leaf, those crystals are released into the soft tissues of the mouth, tongue, lips, and throat. The sensation is not mild irritation. It can be intense burning, sharp pain, swelling, drooling, and in more serious cases, difficulty swallowing, difficulty speaking, and even breathing problems if the throat swells enough. That is where the common name comes from. People exposed to the plant in the mouth may temporarily lose the ability to speak clearly because of the pain and swelling. This is one of the reasons poison control centers and veterinary clinics continue to warn about it. Toddlers may bite a leaf out of curiosity. Cats and dogs may chew the stems or foliage. Even adults can get skin irritation from the sap, and if they rub their eyes afterward, the burning can become much worse. The plant does not have to be deadly in every case to be dangerous. Sometimes the real hazard is how quickly a normal accident becomes a medical emergency. If you want that same lush, indoor jungle look without the hidden risk, parlor palm or Boston fern are much safer choices. Both add fullness, softness, and greenery to indoor spaces without turning a decorative corner into a potential poisoning incident. Plant number 4 is sago palm. This one surprises a lot of people because it does not look threatening at all. In fact, it looks refined. It resembles a small ornamental palm, with a thick base and a crown of stiff, glossy green fronds that make it look structured and expensive. That is exactly why people buy it. It works indoors, outdoors in containers, and in entryway plantings where people want a dramatic focal point without too much maintenance. But for pets especially, sago palm is one of the most dangerous plants commonly sold. Every part of the plant is toxic, but the seeds are especially hazardous. They contain compounds that can severely damage the liver. Dogs are frequent victims because the seeds can fall to the ground and seem interesting enough to chew. What follows can be devastating: vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy, seizures, liver failure, and in many cases, death if treatment is not immediate and aggressive. And that is what makes sago palm so deceptive. It has no obvious visual warning sign, no thorns, no burning sap, no bright danger signal. It simply sits there, looking elegant, while posing a major risk to animals that explore with their mouths. Veterinary clinics continue to warn about sago palm because the cases are so serious and so often preventable. Many owners do not realize what happened until symptoms appear, and by then, the situation may already be critical. If you want that indoor tropical palm effect without the same toxic danger, safer alternatives include areca palm and ponytail palm. They bring height, shape, and that breezy decorative feel without carrying the same level of risk for pets or children. By this point in the countdown, the pattern is becoming clear. The most dangerous plants are often not the ones that look alarming. They are the ones that look completely harmless, stylish, and easy to live with. Plant number 5 is the castor bean plant. If you have ever seen one in a nursery, you understand the appeal immediately. It grows fast, stands tall, and has huge star-shaped leaves that make it look almost tropical. Some varieties also produce dramatic red seed pods that give the whole plant a sculptural, architectural look. For gardeners who want a bold focal point, it can seem like the perfect choice. But this is one of the most dangerous plants on the entire list. The seeds of the castor bean plant contain ricin, one of the most infamous plant-derived poisons in the world. Its reputation is so strong that even people who know very little about gardening have heard the name before, and that reputation is deserved. Ricin is dangerous because it disrupts the body's ability to make proteins, which can lead to severe organ damage and death. That is what makes this plant such a terrible choice for homes with children or pets. The seeds are small, attractive, and easy to mishandle. A child could mistake them for beans or decorative seeds. A pet could find one on the ground and chew it. Even handling seeds carelessly and then touching your face is not something to take lightly. This is why the castor bean plant crosses a line that many toxic ornamentals do not. Some plants are risky if eaten in larger amounts. This one is notorious because the danger is so concentrated in a small part of the plant, and because that part can be visually tempting. It is not just a bad fit for family gardens. In many situations, it is simply not worth the risk. If you want that same oversized, dramatic foliage effect, safer alternatives include canna lily or elephant ear. They deliver strong visual impact, bold leaves, and a tropical feel without bringing ricin into your landscape. Plant number 6 is azaleas and rhododendrons. These are among the most familiar spring-flowering shrubs in the world. You see them everywhere once they bloom, masses of pink, red, lavender, white, and purple flowers covering the plant so densely that the leaves nearly disappear. They are beautiful, easy to admire, and deeply woven into the look of many front yards and landscaped neighborhoods. That widespread popularity is exactly why they deserve a place on this list. Azaleas and rhododendrons contain grey-anotoxins, compounds that interfere with the normal electrical signaling that helps nerves and muscles function properly. That includes the heart. When ingested, these toxins can trigger vomiting, weakness, drooling, abdominal pain, low blood pressure, and serious heart-related symptoms. In more severe cases, the poisoning can become life-threatening. There is also a strange historical detail that makes these plants especially memorable. In parts of the world where bees fed heavily on rhododendron nectar, the resulting honey became known as mad honey because it could cause confusion, weakness, vomiting, and even paralysis in people who ate it. That story sounds dramatic, but it shows how powerful these toxins can be. Pets are also at risk. Dogs in particular may chew fallen leaves or flowers, and even a relatively small amount can cause severe symptoms. That is why animal safety organizations continue to list azaleas as an important poisoning risk. If you want a shrub with bright blooms and strong landscape value, but less toxicity risk, camellias and viburnum are much safer choices. They still provide color, structure, and ornamental impact without carrying the same hidden danger. By now, the pattern should be impossible to miss. The more beautiful a plant looks in a nursery display, the more important it becomes to ask one extra question before buying it. Is it safe for the people and animals who will live around it every day? Plant number 7 is lilies. This may be the most heartbreaking plant on the list, because lilies are associated with beauty, elegance, and celebration. People bring them into homes for holidays, weddings, sympathy arrangements, and seasonal displays. They look pure. They smell luxurious. They seem harmless. But if you live with a cat, lilies are not just risky. They are an emergency waiting to happen. What makes lilies so terrifying is that the exposure required can be incredibly small. A cat does not need to chew through an entire leaf or flower. A little pollen brushed onto the fur and licked off later can be enough. Drinking water from a vase holding cut lilies can be enough. A single bite from the petal, leaf, or stem can be enough. And once the toxin begins affecting the kidneys, the window to save the animal is brutally short. That is why veterinarians warn about lilies again and again. By the time a cat starts vomiting, hiding, refusing food, or acting weak, the damage may already be underway. Fast treatment can save lives, but delay changes everything. In many cases, the difference between recovery and tragedy comes down to how quickly the owner realizes what happened. And the danger is not limited to one specific type. Easter lilies, tiger lilies, day lilies, stargazer lilies, all of them should be treated as off-limits in a cat household. Even if people hear that one variety is less dangerous, the safest rule is simple. If you have cats, do not bring lilies into the home at all. If you want a similar elegant floral presence without that deadly risk, Orchids and roses are far safer choices. They still offer beauty, height, softness, and that special occasion feeling, but without turning a vase arrangement into a life-threatening hazard. Now let's move quickly into a few honorable mentions, because these plants did not make the main 7, but they absolutely deserve caution. First, hydrangea. It is one of the most beloved flowering shrubs in modern gardens, known for its huge rounded flower heads in blue, pink, white, or purple. But the leaves and buds contain compounds that can release cyanide-related toxins if eaten. Serious poisoning usually requires more than a tiny nibble, but for pets and small children, it is still not a plant to underestimate. Second, monkshood, also known as aconitum. This one has a long, dark reputation for a reason. It produces rich blue or purple flowers that look regal and almost theatrical, but the plant has been feared for centuries. It is not only dangerous if ingested. Even handling it carelessly can cause tingling or numbness. Historically, it has been linked to poisonings dating back to ancient times, and it still deserves extreme caution today. Third, philodendron. This is a very common indoor plant, which is exactly why it matters. It is not usually as catastrophic as some of the others on this list, but it contains the same irritating calcium oxalate crystals found in dumb cane. That means chewing it can cause burning, swelling, drooling, and pain in pets and children. It may not always be fatal, but it can still send someone to the doctor or the vet very quickly, and that is the uncomfortable truth. Dangerous plants do not always look dangerous. Some of them are the exact ones people describe as classic, graceful, or beginner-friendly.